live now. The unofficial sponsor of this meal is C4. And normally I wouldn't go with C4, but at the same time, I kind of felt like I wanted something that had a lot of energy to it. Of course, what I got in front of me here is a Tony Chachere's Creole red bean and rice mix, of which I put in my own thinly cut cube steaks, or steak cubes, I guess you could say. Steak rectangles, I should say, because that's essentially what it is. I'll be using my Tabanero extra hot sauce, because you already know how we roll up in here. Getting myself ready for the Philosopher's Inferno, which is going to be coming out next year. So be on the lookout for that, guys. Also, as far as the luxury meat warriors go, as said in the description, which is where the Philosopher's Inferno is probably going to go, I plan to go live on that channel. But in order for me to go live, I need to have at least 50 subscribers. I only have 27. So for those of you that go from here to over there, thank you very much. And there's going to be a lot of different things that are involved with that. Philosopher's Inferno, my live steak cutting, steak preparing, and various different videos like that. Salsas, both fresh and fermented. All of the different cuts that I put into fat age. Once I get that dry age fridge, all of that. Here in the coming month, I'm going to be getting a grill. So I'll be doing a lot of different recordings outside. And that's something that I think you guys would enjoy. So there's a lot of different things that are coming in the new year. Big part of that has to do with the expansion under the new tax laws. And so, by the way, I do have my bachelor's in business with emphasis on small business management and small business entrepreneurship. Thus, I do know about project management and things like that as well. So if you guys are interested in getting a business up, what it takes to get a business up, understanding the business licenses and how to work through that, I can help you guys with that. And I actually do plan to create another business that's centered around that called Titan LLC. Basically, Titan LLC will help you get your business set up using our own resources, and those resources can then be paid back by profit revenue, or at least a certain percentage of that profit revenue over time, which solidifies a business for you, but also solidifies business for myself as well, which I feel is the best way for us to work through that. You know what I mean? So if anybody's interested in businesses, then let me know. For all of you 21 out there, hey there, stupid little dude. How are you doing? So that's going to be something that I can actively speak to you guys about. That's probably going to be more on the Divination Nation side, like where we're at right now. And eventually it's going to move itself into Luxury Meat Warriors, and eventually it's going to have its own channel. And that's my aim for that, is to help you guys get your businesses up. Oh, well, thank you, Jake. You know what? It's been a minute since I seen you. How you been, man? So in case you guys are interested, hey dear Jamie, this right here is a chuck steak cut into cubes and thrown into a Tony's red bean and rice Creole mix. I don't know why. Just recently, I've been getting into Tony Chachere's. It's fantastic. I don't know if you guys have ever tried it, I actually got the idea from SFan over at SFan TV. And I don't know, man. I'm hooked. I'm hooked. I mean, if anything, any of you guys making Sora videos on me, or Sora 2 is gonna start harping on that for sure. Mm. But like I said, guys, I want to start going live on my Luxury Meat Warrior channel, and I want to make sure that I can create those videos live. So just like I'm doing this live right here and explaining to you guys like what's gonna happen with Divination Nation and Lux Meat and all of that, I can go ahead and update you guys as to what's happening with the Luxury Meat Warriors on that channel, doing lives and stuff like that. I do plan to put some more shorts on this channel specifically because I have a couple more angel numbers that I have lined up for you guys. And I feel like these ones will resonate with you guys rather well. But for now, I'm just kind of like letting it happen. Oh, tarot decks. So I want to update you guys on that. The everything deck is going to be done soon enough. I believe I have roughly around 30 something more cards to make. That's all intuitive. The Seeker's Answers deck, which I believe has about 9 cards, that's going to have 42 total. So I roughly have around 30 something more for that one as well. Also intuitively guided, but it's very detailed in the pictures and the intuitive messages that come through for that. So there's that. And also something that you guys might not yet know about because I haven't really said anything about it, but the Luxury Meat Warrior deck. And that is going to be somewhat similar to what you would find in a normal, I guess, Rider-Waite tarot. So it's going to have similar archetypes, like the Stake Father would be the uh, High Priestess, or the Stake Father could be something similar like the Emperor or something like that. And, you know, various different symbolisms, but each of the symbolisms are going to be intuitively guided as well. Nightmare Freddy, huh? Okay, okay. So then I've seen you guys before too. Jack in the Box. I know I've seen you in one of my previous videos too. So I wanted to just go ahead and update you guys on the various different new things that are coming out while I go ahead and set up the preparation for it all. So many of you guys understand that I do astrology and stuff like that, but I've been learning Chinese zodiacs recently. And something that might actually help you guys understand this time period right now, before we shift into the year of the horse. Snake periods are times for us to be, you know, I guess you could say lying in wait. They're coiled up moments, so there's not very much movement. And it's meant for us to refine. It's meant for us to really get to understand ourselves and our tendencies. And then what ends up happening is on the horse years, we sprint forward, right? If your snake years did not become a time of stability for you to be able to draw back your energy and to understand yourself, the horse periods are going to be straight chaos. Now, I would say depending on what Chinese zodiac you are, those are actually your main lessons. And those main lessons are going to be centered around, well, what's being asked of you for that. So when it comes to, for instance, the ox, this is something that I learned today. The ox has to do with stability, it has to do with structure, and it has to do with long-term planning. And also sacrifice too, which is a very interesting thing because there's a lot of different things that I've had to sacrifice just in the last year and a half alone, but also even just in the last 8 years. So all of that being the time period for my part of fortune in Taurus, which in Hellenistic astrology, Taurus is given 8 years for a time period, fits very well with everything that I've experienced from going from being single to actually having an entrepreneurialistic job to, well, illegal, I guess you could say, in that time period. And all the way up till now, which, having been in a relationship, getting this business started, understanding what it means to take care of others. And of course, I do have to show you guys Mr. Papa right here. Yep. Say hi, Mr. Papa. Yep. So Mr. Papa, he got in trouble where he was at, and he ended up coming to stay with me. So Mr. Papa, he understands what it means to be a luxury meat warrior. Well, a luxury meat doggers. And so he's very well behaved, and he knows what's up. And he's going to be in a lot of my videos too. A lot of the things that I'm going to be prepping for him, meals, yams and things like that, that's also things that I want to go ahead and create lives for. So you guys can understand how best to take care of your dogs as well. Well, I mean, not just dogs, but just your animals in general. Mountain Dew is win. Well, this one specifically is actually a Ruthless Raspberry from C4. It'd be cool if they sponsored me. Even if they did it, doesn't really matter. Either or. Luxury Meat Warriors is what it is. Divination Nation is what it is. So. This is fantastic, especially with cayenne pepper powder. And that habanero isn't even hot. So yeah, if you guys are still, interested in getting readings and stuff like that, I am open to doing personal readings. But as far as engaging in lives and stuff like that where I do readings, that's going to be more into next year. As I begin to solidify whatever it is that I'm setting as the structure for it. So the main structure is going to be astrology, also focusing on Chinese zodiacs. Because I don't know if many of you understand, but when it comes to astrology, that's inner, understanding your inner world. And just the fact that astrology has things like zodiacal releases and things like that, those are all events that happen within us, except for level 1, which is physically based and takes a long time to play itself out. Those are the ones that you notice more readily in reality. Chinese zodiacs, however, is what, great leaders actually use in order to place themselves into the position where they can rise to power. And Xi Jinping uses it. All sorts of different actors have used it. All sorts of different world leaders have used it. So it's a very good external type of system to use. And understanding what year you do what. I mean, you don't even have to believe in it. It just plays itself out. Like, for instance, this is the year of the snake. And the year of the snake is for planning and preparation. Strangely enough, this year has been a 4th house Scorpio year, which means that a lot of the truths that I come to encompass or find out or embody, they happen here at home. They happen here within the 4th house, which is home and family, your roots, your foundations, which is everything that Cancer is all about. And so this 4th house being Scorpio in my progress chart means that it's progressed from stability in relationships to stability in the truth. And that stability in the truth is what allows to be Lakshmi what it is. So the way I've explained it to people is people don't believe in Lakshmi because they want to believe in it. They believe in Lux meat because the sear. The sear is true. Cast iron doesn't lie. The meat doesn't lie. And neither do I. And that's what I roll off of in terms of truth and what I've learned here through Meat Whispers, Bacon Fat Pops, the careful carving of various different slabs of meat, preparation, all of that. All of that is fourth house years. Finding the truth, that's Scorpio energy. And also figuring out the truth here at home. And that all lines up with the snake year that's happened this year too. Now, if you guys look at your lives, you'll notice that this past year has been very highly favorable to planning, replanning the multiple Mercury retrogrades that have happened. Oh, hi, Anto. How's Russia treating you? So yeah, I was explaining a little bit about snake years. Snake years are actually preparation for forward movement into the horse year. And the horse years, I'll go ahead and share some information on that as far as learning about it and really trying to see what it actually is or what it entails or what it's asking of us. And then more importantly, I'll be doing it as a video for those who have horse years that they were born in. And that way it helps them to understand what to expect of themselves, or at least what to expect of the energy for that coming year, which would be 2026. If any of you are horse zodiac signs, go ahead and drop it in the comments. Let me know what year you're born, and that way I can see what kind of zodiac animal it is. Because, for instance, you can have an ox that is in the yin energy, and it's different than an ox that would be in a yang energy. Whereas one is more introspective and one is more understanding its own value and worth. The other one already has recognized that value and that worth and is actively projecting it into the world. Oh, the pig. Okay. All right, so let's see. I want to go ahead and take a look real quick and see what pig years. I'm actually going to jump onto my computer here to help you out real quick. But I'm going to keep my computer up here because it needs to stay like that for a second. Alrighty, let's go. Let's see, so just pig symbolism. Well, you know, pigs eat everything, right? So pigs, they make use of all the different types of resources that they have at their disposal. Now, if I had to guess, I would say that you yourself have made use of every situation that you've ever come across, regardless of the fact that it didn't look like it would produce very much for you to work with. You were still able to turn something from nothing to actually something awesome. And I almost have that feeling that that happened during a pig year. So let's see Chinese zodiacs. Pig years. Okay, so the pig year or the years of the pig in the Chinese zodiac include 1947, 1959, 1971, 1983, 1995, 2007, 2019. And the next one will be 2031. Each pig year is associated with the five elements of wood, fire, metal, earth, or water. So, um, what year were you born? Because then we can figure out what kind or what type of pig you are. Okay, 2007. 2007, you would be a fire pig. So that was between February 17th, 2007 and February 6th, 2008. During this year, fire pigs. Huh, interesting. Okay, so pig characteristics. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the at the website for this. Okay, so boar Chinese zodiac personalities. Pig slash boar child personality and traits. So Chinese pig zodiac. Okay. Um, the pig is seen as a well-behaved, considerate, and optimistic animal. People born in the year of the pig are said to have very pure hearts and be very generous. They easily forgive the mistakes of others and can sometimes be a little lazy and short-tempered. Your best matches, okay. Hmm. Lucky numbers 2, 5, and 8. Directions northeast and southeast. Huh. Interesting. Okay, and that actually has to do a lot with feng shui. So, for instance, if you guys pay attention, I have my corner from the door. It's the first left corner right here. That's the wealth corner. So, if we look at pigs in general, I want to go ahead and see what I can get as far as the pig symbolism. Pig symbolism. I'm learning this with you guys right now too. So let's see. Spiritual meanings. Pigs symbolize a range of meanings across cultures, fertility, prosperity, and abundance, especially in Chinese tradition. However, they can be associated with negative traits like greed and gluttony in various contexts. Okay, so then I can see how exactly that would be a possibility. Pigs are fascinating creatures, often misunderstood, sometimes revered, and deeply symbolic across cultures. When you see them as simple farm animals or sacred beings, pigs carry profound spiritual meaning that might surprise you. Okay, so then let's take a look at that one. Right? And that's actually one of the things that I've always been kind of curious about, I guess you could say, for lack of a better term. It's the idea that these Chinese zodiac symbolisms, they actually have a very, very deeply ingrained understanding of the world and how it functions. But I mean, it's not even like, how would I say? It's not even in the sense that like it's woo woo or anything. It seems more calculated and mathematical. So let's see, pigs. Ancient Egypt associated with fertility and the sky god Nut. Celtic tradition, symbol of abundance, courage, and warrior spirit. That I can believe as far as warrior spirits go. Chinese zodiac represents wealth, honesty, and good fortune. Huh. So then that makes me think, regardless of the fact that your hand is scraps, you can actually still create some good fortune out of that. Which, damn, I wish I had that kind of luck. Christianity, often linked to gluttony and impurity. And Hinduism, Christianity, of course, it would have that negative, negative connotation, right? Oh, and then look at that. You have Raiju Warrior as your name. Yep, exactly. Yep, I was just I was just thinking about that right now too. And then Hinduism, considered unclean yet associated with the boar avatar of Vishnu. Generosity, intelligence, and sensuality. See, and pigs are smarter than most people think. That is exactly the thing that I was hinting on. Being able to take scraps and turning it into something amazing. Oh, well, I mean, I'm sorry if I'm like cracking the facade of what Christianity, well, I should say mainstream Christianity puts out. But I mean, like for me, I'm meant to help awaken people. So, you know, us doing this research together, you know, okay, I'll just tell you this, guys. I like to consider myself pretty smart, or I guess you could say intelligent. But at the same time, I understand like I only know like 0.00000000000001% of the possibilities of what actually exists out there. So for me, life is a journey of understanding like all of this. Okay, so enough blabbering from me. Right back to, I guess, your little mini zodiac read. Yep, and you know why Logan was the Wolverine? Because Wolverines are considered warriors. So him being named Logan, that's not that's a subcontext that we can actually like go into further explanation if we wanted to, right? So the year of the pig is actually something that's very beneficial. And if we go back to over here, you said you were born in 2007, which is right here. 2019 would have been a year where you probably would have had less to work with. However, whatever it is that you have now is actually based off your last pig return. I say pig return because if you were born in the year of the pig and it returns right back to that, then that's similar to like a planetary return. Like how Mars returns every 2 years. How Mercury returns, I think it was what, like every couple years too. Venus returns, I think, every 8 years or something like that. So yeah, very similar to that. And if I take into consideration that you were born in 2007, let me see, we're gonna be in 2026. So 17, 2007. That would make you 19 years old. Which, at 19 years old, if we look at okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up something very simple for you. It is no. I don't need to do that. What I do need to do is I need to get my paper that has this information on it. Okay. All right. So I have this paper here that explains a lot of the information behind. Oops, wrong one. There it is. Cool. Perfect. All right. So I have this paper here, and it's one of the papers that I'm always referring to. It comes to 18. Oh, 18. 2007 to 8. Wait, 2007 to 17. That's 10. 18. What's it? 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, yeah, you do. Yeah, they do. Look at this is Hellenistic astrology. You see where you sit at in the chart? 18, right? So this right here for you is a seventh house year. Seventh house perfection year. Now, I told you about the fourth house perfection year. And right now, I'm actually 39 and I'm about to be 40 going into the new year. So, fourth house perfection year has been a lot about understanding security and how security is measured, how security is built, how security is very much based around the heart. You can have financial security, but if you don't have that emotional security, everything else crumbles. And so, understanding that, we have the ability to see things for what they really are. And for you, seventh house perfection years specifically deal with relationships. They deal with understanding how to move within relationships. And they also function as far as like business relationships and things like that too. Now, being born, you said September. When was that? September what? September 2007. Okay, so September. I'll refer to my other page right here, which shows a lot of different astrological information, like astrological cosmology, the difference in the houses. As you see right there, seventh house. It deals with relationships, marriage, unions, business partnerships, just partnerships in general, friendships, and things like that are much closer than acquaintances, which is the 11th house. Now, you said September 12th. Okay. September 12th, you are a Virgo and you begin the last 10 degrees of Virgo, which is Mercury run. Yeah, which is interesting because I mentioned Mercury. And it's 10 of Pentacles. Yee! So, dude, okay, let me just put out the facts. September 12th, Mercury run. It's under the energies of okay. So one, it's Mercury run. Two, mutable energy. So it's flexible as hell. Guided by the Ten of Pentacles, which in the tarot, the Ten of Pentacles has a lot to do with generational wealth. And then you were born in 2007 during the year of the pig, which is also a symbol of abundance, prosperity, wealth, and joy. Dude, it's like your life. If you understand that structure there, the only thing you need to do is learn yourself so that you can best project that forward. Yeah, there you go. There you go. See, and that's how you do it. You actually have to search for that information because this world is not going to give it to you. It is not going to be like, hey, this is the secret to the world, and this is how you overcome everything that we're trying to do with you. Nah. Uh-uh. You have to study. Now, that's exactly what the Luxury Meet Warriors is all about. Helping you get to know yourself so that you can get to know the world around you, and then helping you to get to know the world around you so that you understand how best to move. Because the world is always going to be trying to screw you over in some type of way until the whole society changes. Until then, it's not that we need to be walking around with the sword, that we need to be walking around with the shield or anything. It's just having the awareness and the discernment to be able to sidestep issues before they even become a problem. And that is one of the main reasons of why you've been studying a lot lately. It's yes, it's the secrets of the world, but what you're looking for is the foundational structure on which things operate and understanding that structure. Yeah, exactly. Yep. And that's why we tread our own paths. We tend to follow a specific road that we feel through our intuition is telling us to go in that direction. And then from there, we end up finding answers. Now, it's not to say that we find the answers that we seek, it's just we move in a certain direction to find out what that direction holds. And then we let the presentation of reality and our thought process converge to show a stark line of what actually is the case and what isn't. Why would you want to know any secrets? It'll drive you crazy. Yeah, it can drive you crazy if you don't know how to manage it, but it is the act of seeking knowledge that prevents you from going crazy because we already know that the systems that exist, they try to gaslight us, they try to redirect us, mislead us, disinform us, and the more you know, what was it that Warren Buffett said? The more you know, or no, the more you learn, the more you earn. So figuring out the secrets actually gives you the information you need behind the structure of something, and that is what allows you to get ahead. Now, seeing the structure, that's where most people have the issues. They get misled, they get told lies, and all sorts of different stuff. Yeah, and not only that, it'll also show you more about who is trying to drive you crazy and who is actually trying to work with you. And when you can understand that, you know who to associate with and who not to. No, knowledge doesn't seek you. What ends up happening is that you seek knowledge, and if you're not looking through a specific lens, like trying to prove something, the knowledge in and of itself gives you the answer. And that's one thing that I've come to a realization of in life. One advice I would say that I can give you guys would be that when it comes to when it comes to anything, let the evidence provide what it needs to provide, and then ultimatums or judgments or whatever other verb can be used for that can then commence based off of what actually is the case and what's logically seen and the behaviors around it, as opposed to just being like, oh, well, yeah, it's just happening the way it's happening. Yeah, and I agree with you, Raju. There's a lot of different cultures, belief systems, and things like that out there that actually do talk about some type of sentience. Now, there are different sentiences out there, and for us to attribute all of the different sentiences that we feel or that we perceive or that we see out there as God, what we can say is that there is some type of entity or energy out there that does explain a lot. But I feel like because the Bible says that you shall have no other gods before me, that's to say that God isn't the highest, or at least Yahweh isn't the highest. And that was actually him showing jealousy. And he actually did say it. He's like, I am a jealous God. So that right there is just proof to go ahead and add to his own statement. You know, what came out of the horse's mouth, basically. And yeah, yeah, exactly. Jesus. Now, as I'm pretty sure you already know, just based on your comment, when it comes to Jesus, Jesus was a personification of forgiveness. You can't have anything in this world, whether that's relationships, whether that's wealth, whether that's abundance of any kind, unless you have forgiven yourself. And when you forgive yourself, you understand that other people are only acting off of reaction as well. And that's where that board flips for you, because now instead of reacting, you're responding. And when you respond, your words carry weight because they're actually built on logical truth and not emotional pathos. And that's why Jesus said, "Forgive your." Or see, that's why Jesus said, he who has not sinned, cast the first stone." What are stones? Stones are a physical embodiment of truth. So, stones in and of themselves, they carry weight too. So, weight in your words. Also, let he who has not sinned, meaning, if you can honestly say that when it comes to forgiveness, that you've forgiven yourself, you can actually forgive everyone else. It's not that you forget, it's not that you let them do it to you. It's that you forgive because you understand that, as Jesus said, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." And that was actually his last sentence before he died on the cross. So forgiveness is a very big aspect, but it's not just forgiveness of others, it's forgiveness of the self. Yep. Now, even just without the tomb and the shroud, right? You got to think about it from that symbolic perspective, because everything begins in symbolism, and the one most common English language that we all can, I guess, revert back to if language just disappeared entirely, that would be symbolism. Symbolism is the deepest level of language that any sentient being has the understanding of speaking in, or portraying, or living in. And that's why me myself, I believe in Christian. Well, I mean, I don't believe in Christianities per se, but I do believe in the general idea of Jesus, and of course all the other different archetypes like Buddha and Muhammad and all of them, which they also have their own personification of a certain, I guess, attitude we should have on life. Yeah, yeah. The cross is a major symbolism. It's not just a visual cue, but it's also a symbolic and meaning cue. Same thing for the Star of David. Um, the Star of David is a symbolism for the faith of not just Israelis and Hebrews, but also seems to be on the flag for Jerusalem and all of them too, right? Or something like that. Don't quote me on that one, but I do believe that they have it on a flag somewhere. I just don't know what country. Well, I don't think we should be basing truth or lies on what has been done as much as we should match it up to what he says. and to see whether that belief system actually is embodied. That's really the best way to tell whether somebody's lying or not, is do they embody their truth? Yeah, so think about it like this. The things that Muhammad taught, much like the way that Jesus taught, does he embody it similarly to what Jesus did back in his time too? That's a very good distinction to make, because if he came out with a certain way of teaching or a certain method of going about life, and he actually embodied that in his life, like let's say for instance with Jesus, where he says, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do," and he embodied that by actually forgiving them, what does Muhammad embody? And did he live his life under the embodiment of that belief? See, I haven't done a lot of digging into Muhammad. I've done a lot of digging into Jesus, and that's why I'm able to speak from the perspective that I'm speaking of. Plus, I used to grow up when I was younger in Victory Outreach and Calvary Chapel, and even under my grandma whenever I would go to church with her, which is where she said that I first started singing at the age of 5. So it's a very interesting aspect to understand that the embodiment of all of these different traits from these different holy beings can only be righteously done if they embody that belief. And so, for instance, when it comes to me, I embody the belief that knowledge is power, and knowledge should be freely given to the person who is actually searching for it. For the people that aren't searching for it, but that want to come around and be like, "Oh, well, what do you know?" All right, buddy, you're going to have to pay for that. Because now I know that you're coming to me with an agenda as opposed to just generally wanting to learn. And that's called discernment. That's called putting up a boundary, too. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that the Quran is a lie. We don't know actually whether something is a lie or not unless we actually take a look at the whole text to see whether that information was being embodied. Also, it's very important to see what all they hide too, because somebody could claim, "Oh, this is a complete book," and yet it's not. Like the Bible, for example. They could be like, "Oh, the Quran is a complete book," when there's probably books missing that we don't know about yet. So, yeah. Very interesting. But I think I'm gonna get ready to go ahead and take my papa for a walk. He's over there lifting up his ear. He's like, "Walk? Yeah, you wanna go for a walk, pups? Yeah? A little papa lapa waps? Trying to go for a little walks? Yeah? Come on, let's go." See? Little Papa wants to go for a walk now. Okay. All right, Papa. All right. Relax. Oh, don't you? At me. Oh, what? Yeah, you want to speak, huh? You want to speak. Okay. We're going to go do this walk before it gets too dark. And I can go ahead and drink my C4 while we're out. All right, so... Oh, it feels nice out here. It's not hot and it's not cold. And the sun is going down. Ah, yeah. Last time I recorded any... Whew, never mind that. I think I'm gonna have to put on my jacket. All right, hold on, Papa. I need to put on my jacket. It's a little chilly out here. All right, I think you guys are gonna be going for a walk with me too. Sweater on. All right, perfect. So we're gonna go for a little walk and talk. We did a steak break, and now we're doing a walk and talk. Papa's already ready. And you know, even these walks and stuff like that, as much as people think might be random, they're actually premeditated, pre-planned. And if you really take a look at the schedules in your life, you'll start to understand how they play a role in your greater overall trajectory. My dog's name is Papa. When I first got him, he was like a little potato in my hand. And then, of course, you know, you feed him. And he would blow up like a little potato. So his name was Papa, and then from there, it just maintained. We didn't